Hello, everyone who's watching this in the future. My name is Stoic Grub. I like to draw. And I like to make music. All damn day. That's pretty much it. Just saying hello. I was just fiddling with this little riff a second ago. Fiddling with the riff. Isn't that like the Fiddler on the Roof? I'm fiddling with the roof. What are you doing up on the roof? What was his name in that movie? The dad? The fiddler? I forget his name. But, while I'm fiddling, what does it look like? Hello, Passa. I was just doing a little. Sort of. I've had this guitar. Ukulele just fell on its face, as one does. But I've had this guitar since I was 30 years old. On my birthday, when I turned 30, it was 2010. And it was November 13th, and it was a full moon, and it was Friday the 13th. And I was turning 30, and I bought this guitar that morning because I wanted a new guitar so I could record some music. It's out of tune, I'm sure. Is the internet working? I should probably turn my... Oh, it is. Okay, good. If I turn my Wi-Fi on, it gets worse. So I have to keep it off, which I think takes like more oil to use. And so I need to go get an oil change in my phone every, I don't know, 2 or 3 days at this point. But it's worth it. Strap on your children. Strap on your children before they get too far. Gotta make them listen. Gotta make them listen. Though most of the time it's hard. Though most of the time it's hard. Compete with nothing. Sometimes when you think they're dead, they are, they are, they are, they are. Swimming will take me. Kill off this weakling. Roaring fast into my brains. Lord, how they hate me for breathing air recently. Most of the time I can't explain, and most of it I won't explain. Go and tell the media you just broke the world record for pain, for pain, for pain, for pain, for pain. Strap on your children. They're ready and willing. When you notice them getting smart, you gotta keep them guessing. Teach them a lesson. Make them think you've got a good heart. Make them think you've got a good heart. Completely empty. Sometimes when you think you're dead, you are, 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 you are. Sometimes when you think you're dead, you are. I messed that one up a lot. I forget what the name of that one even is. Anywho, how's everybody else doing tonight? Oh, thanks, Caitlin. Hey, just saying hi to everybody here. Fiddling. Crank out King of the Hill. An old song. It's one of my old songs. I wrote it when I was probably around 25. And that would have been in 2005. I was a writing fool. Yeah, I'm on Spotify. All my stuff is on Bandcamp, and it's free. I don't ever. People usually will leave something, but it's not like I expect anything, you know. But yeah, I've made my fair share of music. I used to love making music as much as, it was so addicting. And so the songs I would just always just go into my room downstairs and, add some smoke to the room. And then just by myself, by myself, of course, but because I would record all the music myself, all the parts. And there were times when I had bands and they would play the parts. Well, actually, that's not true because my buddy Matt, and anytime you hear an accordion, and I always give them credit on everything too. But there was quite an array of musicians that I played with when I lived in Idaho. I lived in Boise, and I lived there for 10 years, 2010 to 2020. And in October of 2020, I moved back to Portland after being gone 10 years. It was insane. And then 4 years later, I moved back down to where I left when I was 17 years old in 1997. In the same house and everything that I like pretty much, at the time as a teenager, I was 17, felt like I was escaping, and it just felt good to. My brother came down and picked me up. When I went back up north, I didn't have anywhere to live. Like, I had a bunch of family out there, but nobody wanted to take me in, and nobody did. And so my brothers and my sister took me in for temporarily, because I didn't have it. I was like homeless for a while. I was like, right when I turned 18, the week that I turned 18, I was homeless in Orland, little teeny town north of here, where I graduated high school. Orland, California. Orlando without the O at the end. Orlando without the O at the end. What kind of hillbilly propaganda fucking show you running here, butches? What did you just call me? What? Huh? What did you say, butches? Yeah, butches. What? What? I like it. I like butches. Okay. It's like bushes. There's more butch. It's a butch. It's a butch. It's hard to say. But it's easy to love. And that's what art is all about, friends. Taking my pills again. LOL. My pills. Well, it's funny you should say that because every day I stop taking certain pills like that have been embedded in me since I was born. And I've been unraveling a huge mess of, well, pills. But then you also have to find, it's like, gut flora. There's good and bad. But they all have jobs. Sometimes you need to feel bad in order to remember how it feels to feel good, you know. However that means, whatever that means to you. Some people feel good feeling nothing, you know. I don't. It's like that's why I can't do certain things like muscle relaxers are the worst thing for me ever. Oh my god. At first I thought it would be great because I have such a bad back and my body's just messed up. I was worked hard when I was a kid by my dad, and we grew up on a ranch and stuff, and fuck around out there. But I wasn't really taught how to work, and how to bend right and everything. So I'd always be trying to impress my dad by doing these things that I shouldn't have been doing at a very young age and messing my little body up. I guess we all do that kind of stuff too. I'm not trying to sound special, but yeah. And now it's like I have to stop taking certain pills, and so in order to clear my head so I can begin a different kind of pill. You know what I mean? And now I'm getting into like Matrix or something like that, where there's red and blue pills or whatever. Because that's how it feels, and to be honest, it feels like if there is such a thing as destiny, or fate or anything like that, which I do believe in, but I can't articulate it in the way that I feel it, because it sounds romantic or something the way I say it, but it's there's something liberating about discovering parts of your psyche that you never thought were possible, or visible, or could be visible. Little little creatures hiding behind rocks, being pushed uphill by endless blind, faceless men and women and children. People dying on the hill, being smushed by rocks, sliding all the way down to the bottom. By the time they get down, they're all grated, just in pieces, dismembered. Horrible. But then there's that one part That one person that just keeps pushing that fucking rock up that goddamn fucking hill every goddamn fucking day. He doesn't look down, he doesn't look up. He's just focused on the rock. That's where I'm trying to be. So, I guess I'm trying to push that pill up a hill. I'm trying to push that pill. That's a fucking country song. Hold on a second. I'm gonna push that pill up a hill. I'm gonna push that pill up a hill. Instead of being dismembered at the bottom like every other buddy in this everybody, well, like everybody else. All right, now that was really long-winded. Hey, so we can shorten that part down instead of saying all that. Woo! Okay, everybody. John Wilkes Booth here. I'm gonna play you a dinger. I've come back from the dead with a message. Damn, it's expensive here. I'm going back. Sometimes the best thing you can do is actually the only thing you can do or should do, take it from me, is laugh at yourself. I just did it. Did you hear that? That was stupid. I didn't mean to do that either. I just like to be thorough when I'm talking about something. I like to be thorough. I also like saying the word thorough. When I was a kid in the 5th grade, my dad, we went from being, just people who had cats and dogs to people who had horse. And he bought a quarter horse named Quenser. He was 4 years old, big ass horse, and ex racehorse. And Quenser, I forget what I was gonna say about Quenser. Something about the quarter horse. Well, I just remember the first day we got him. Oh, that's right. We went from that to being like horse people. My dad's first horse. Quincy was pretty crazy though. My dad was trying to get a horse where that he could rope on, because they were into roping and, I don't know if anybody knows much about that kind of stuff here, but where you go out, there's 2 people. There's a heeler and a header. And they, they open the chute and the steer goes out there and, its horns are bouncing around in the wind, all majestic like in the early morning breeze. And you just think to yourself, oh my God, there is a Lord right there, out there, and right above those beautiful little ears, within those horns, within the limits of those horns, there is a God. And God damn it, I want to rope that little son of a bitch. So that's what they do. And then, the second person, so they head it first. That person, quickly, as soon as they head it, boom, 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 wrap it around the horn, and then turn sharply to the left or whatever, And then the heeler, within a second, is like right on it and just scoops up underneath, heals it. They jump down. Usually, if it's just like a regular event, no big stakes involved. They'll just like the steer just gets up and shakes it off, and then they can like loosen it and just. But sometimes there's like events where they'll like jump down and like hog tie it really quick and do these crazy shit. And I've seen people lose thumbs. Like they'll be out there and they'll go to like this one time. I should just say like the one time I ever saw it, and the paramedics came and everything, because you always want to tie when you're tying the rope around the Honda, the horn or whatever, not the Honda. And you take that sharp turn, that slack goes like that, and if you have your thumb down or like in the rope and it gets in there and snaps, it'll at least break it, let alone just like cut it right off. And I remember the guys were out there looking for the dude's thumb, and I was thinking to myself, I could go out there and find it in a heartbeat, because I'm a little thumb maniac. Thumb-maniac, that's what I am. I'm very thematic. Look at my thumbs. Where's oh gosh, Huglitz when I need him. Hey, toe thumbs. You should, if it's like, I think I told Huglitz this too when he talked about my toe thumbs. Um, is that my friend Sam Dinkowitz, man. You should just Google Sam Dinkowitz thumb and see what happens. I'm sure you'll get something interesting. But no, my buddy Sam, his thumbs are insane, man. They are just, they're like little, if Wolverine, the character, like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, if Wolverine were two thumbs, they've got attitude, those little, little thumbs. Quite impressive. And with that, I absolutely forgot what we were talking about. Well, hello, weirdo. How the heck are you? Yeah, I've been better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like 30 minutes from now. Mm-hmm. I'll feel better in 30. That really looks kind of cool up close like that, actually. And I love the smell of paper. I love the taste of the air when paper is around. When paper is bleeding with the ink of the art that your mind creates upon it, that your sights lose sight upon, the never-ending tapping, rappy tapping of the creative spirit that's all around us at all times, that anybody could just tap right into at any given moment and be sent off into another fucking dimension. Sorry for the folks that aren't used to the cussing. I try to keep it mostly G. Like, oh my golly gosh darn it, G whiz, kind of, But it's Friday, so I was just feeling kind of, it's, I should explain. Um, I'm not on Earth. Yeah, so my days are a little bit different than yours. It's a long story. It's really short, but not worth mentioning. So there, maybe you should just ignore the last 10 seconds of what I just said. It's classified. Really trying to get that laugh down because I'm actually going to try out for the Joker. I want to be a Joker. I think Joker needs a missing front tooth and an actual maniacal, theistic laugh. Yeah, a little diabolical. Why not? Just give a newcomer a try. Plus, I look pretty good in lipstick, I think. I have the right lips. If not, I could make them bigger or smaller. Just throwing that out there. If anybody out there is from Tinseltown, knows a few people, hook me up. I wouldn't mind being in the movie shit. Just let me know. Appreciate it. Headshots, description, and bio are in the description as usual, along with a link to my satellite phone and a few nudie photos. Oh, I'm just Jeremying you. I mean, joshing you. I'm just absolutely joshing. But I am going to draw a flower right here. For the people who couldn't be here. For the people who missed this infected stream of consciousness and self-consciousness. I hate when I say a joke and it makes me like proud of myself. I wish that I can feel like the third limb popping out of my back, like spine, lower back, or maybe middle, maybe more middle of my back ish. And just giving me a nice pat, like, good job, buddy. Good job. Wait, can you see what I'm doing? Should I bring it up a little? Team Quack, everybody's here. This is great. Mallory, what? Oh, yeah. See, I can bring that. This is one of those cool tables. Literally what the cat drug in. Oh, yeah, let me try this one. Oh, here. Oh, this would be very, very out of tune. If I had a capo. when the ghosts built gazebos around our hearts, yeah. When the devils came, in came Mallory came. And everything was gonna be okay. It's true, based on a true story. Not the one sitting before you, but the one that came before me. The one that tapped into the zone a little too hard, if you know what I mean. But still, we're all here together, and it's good to see you, Mallory. I hope you're doing well. Local weird. I see. Is that? Okay, I already read that. I wrote a whole song about it just then. Okay. Does anybody know where I left my car keys? Anybody want some water or some tea or some crunchies? Does anybody want some crunchies? I'll bring it closer. Can you even see it? You know, I tried to go, it gives me the option to go horizontal for my videos, but I still feel like it's so far away, even though I'm really close. But I guess that's better. But then I try to go horizontal, and it won't allow me to do it. And I think it makes sense because a lot of people don't hold their phones horizontal. It's just easier to hold them the other way. Because then I think about it, and all these videos that I've done over the past several months, only a very few of them are horizontal. They're all, because I do a lot of the shorts. I wear a lot of shorts. I am not going to elaborate, but I do want to collaborate. Whoa, the sound gets all weird in here. Hey, how's it? Well, did you hear the one about the person with the eyeball? No, what happened? Yeah, he saw everything that you did last summer. He saw that? Oh yeah, he saw that. He's coming for you. He's probably at your back door right now. You serious? Oh yeah, absolutely. You better run for your life. Oh crap. You guys, should I be scared? I've been scared of worse before. I'm not even scared about nothing anymore. Hey Mom, can you turn on the light for me please before you leave the room?
Yes, dear.
Thank you, Mom. I love you.
Love you too, you little bastard.
What's that?
Nothing.
Oh gosh, I love my mom. She reminds me of that one time when I was a kid, when I was born. Oh, it pretty much always reminds me of that. And I think that's just the beautiful thing about life sometimes, is that we just remember the most beautiful things. And laugh at our own stupid jokes for some reason. It's really embarrassing. Of course, the penicillin is kicking in. I stabbed myself with some penicillin right before we came live. Right in the ear. Right in the gobsmacking ear. And it's kicking in right now, and it's really making me feel good. Yep, just straight up pure penicillin. It's actually from a certain beetle from South America. Yeah. More like it was a beetle impersonator. But his undula alamellata was all kind of frothy and foaming at the mouth for about 3 days before we were able to isolate its contradads. That way I could take them safely and not feel the effects, basically like the effects of having the bends or something like that. If you take the contradads too soon before you basically feel the effects of the crocodiles anyways, I guess, before that. It's complicated. But it's how I do it. It's how we do it here. So if anybody wants some, just, again, description. Everything's in the description. Anything you need to know. Even the meaning in life. It's all there. I would never lie to you. It's only fair to tell you now that I would never lie to you. Ever. Just don't talk to any of my old friends or exes, please, for the love of God. They will tell you differently. And my godlike status amongst all of my followers, my friends, you, my pupils, my teachers, my lovers, my haters. Our bond would probably not be so well received. It might be in a critical state after that, probably like 90%, at least 95% critical, which is red state. It's a red state. You just gotta get better. That's what I'm saying. The hell? What are we talking about again? How recycling doesn't matter? No, that was last week episode. How recycling doesn't do anything for anything or anybody. Oh, that's right. Yeah. It just makes people feel better. They really just like ship that shit into outer space, don't they? Oh yeah, at our dollar, mind you. Like we pay for it. We pay for that rocket fuel. We pay for everything. All that garbage going to outer space instead of being recycled on here, on Earth, where we can possibly use it again and make shelter out of old cardboard boxes. You know, nobody ever thinks about that. Oh, that's right. I never thought about that either until now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody ever thinks about that until now. Yeah, me neither. Crazy. Okay. This is wild, folks. A lot of stuff going on tonight. Ooh. Happy Friday out there to somebody in a few days. I think you're gonna have a good Friday this week. It's coming up. Did you ever think that you might live to see this Friday? It's 2 days away. Did you ever think that you might? Did you ever stop to think? To think that maybe it could be your last Friday. That's not a threat. That's not a veiled threat. That's a fact. A falseness. Whatever you want to call it. Just a mild observation. No harm there. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. See what I care. As long as it rhymes, I've got the times. All right, everybody. Let me read some of these wonderful comments. Give me just 1 second. Okay, fair enough, Passer. That's a very good comment. Very nice. Quite right. Right there. Right on the nubs. Okay, give me 1 second, folks. I'm gonna see if I can fix this humdinger. God, I'm such a dork. Hold on. Oh gosh. That's not gonna work. God, for the love of... Give me something that fucking... Son of... Oh God! It's probably making a bunch... I'm gonna mute it. This is ridiculous. You're a Wait. It stopped. Oh my God, it stopped. Okay. Is that better? Can you see the drawing better? Let me come... I've got to come closer. There we go. Come closer, Surferosa. Come closer, Surferosa. Rosa. My first girlfriend. Her name was Rosa. I always roll it. You don't roll the R with and it's just Rosa. It's hard to do it. I'm so used to rolling my stupid R's. She was a pretty cool chick. I know I was 15. And it was the most wild time of my life. Could have been. I could have been a dead man dating her. Her brothers did not like me. But it was actually, geez, come to think of it, it kind of almost was like a Romeo and Juliet sort of scenario. Minus all the Shakespeare and the elegance. Because she was like the first girl I ever kissed and held hands with and shit. And I was like, I was just really, really shy. And so I'd never even like held a girl's hand until I was like 15. Or tried to. I'd always hear about like people doing that, and like my friends would be like, "Oh yeah, I went out with this girl and I just grabbed her hand with holding it during the movie." I'm like, "You grabbed her hand? What the fuck? You crazy mother!" Because I don't even know, I still don't even know how to do that kind of stuff. And I think that's what makes life horrible. Horribly lonely, but in the best of ways. What I lack in life, I make up in complaining about what I don't have in life. Really. But, you know, I do it for my future me, for the future me. Because sometimes that bastard, he needs a good boot in the arse. He needs to remember who he is, where he came from. There goes the accent. It came and went. Sorry, folks. If I was a professional, you'd know it. And I'd be tipping you guys, to be honest. You guys are beautiful. You are the most important. You are the more important. No, without you, without us, what would this rock even be? I mean, it'd still be beautiful and all that. It's a tree. You know, if it make noise if it falls in the forest, you know, whatever. Absolutely makes noise. Because the earth is alive. It has its ears. It breathes. It gets to die and come back to life. As do we. As can we. And we can absolutely in the same life, within the same life as well. You can die and come back several times. Trust me. I would never lie to you. Well, I would die for you. So there's that. Life is a crazy pearl. It's just sitting in a big ass oyster. And the oyster is, well, it could be the earth. I like to think of it as the cosmos, the galaxies. Our own galaxy is just, wow. It's hard to even, it's just crazy to me that people actually know that shit too. Like other people on this rock, 7 billion people or whatever, you know. We all know that we're just like sitting in space. That we're literally just sitting in I guess it doesn't matter where we are, you know. That we're on a rock makes, you know, that's alive and has a heart and everything. You know, it's just crazy. But it's wild to me that we still think the way we do and we still do things we do to each other, knowing that we live in this insanely never-ending, beautiful, horrible space. Cosmos. Like, it's just, I don't know, like, you know, when you think about the universe, when I think about it anyways, I just think about something that's just never ending and limitless and infinite, right? And in all out of all these infinite, limitless, endless possibilities, just look around at what we even do to ourselves and do to our planet. And we know so much better. We're supposed to be this like civilized culture, and yeah, in certain ways we are. Civilization doesn't mean that you're a peaceful, you know. I guess civil is in there, but you know, civil also, you know, I think refers to things that lead, you know, getting things, because there's something that's considered civil, that means there's something that's uncivilized, and that could be a matter of, you know, taste or preference to certain people, thus war and, you know, destruction and at all levels of every facet of our human nature. And then people wonder why we have this violent streak in us, where it comes from, even when all anybody's ever trying to do is survive, when what we really should be doing is coming together, like one of the most powerful probably species in the universe, that's ever existed, and look what we do to each other. And look what we like. Look at our petty little squabbles and our fucking stupid ass videos that we put out, and our dumbass books and our beautiful faces that we expose to the world for no reason. When everything's dying constantly, and being born again constantly. Like trees and plants and seeds are planted, and it's just this never ending, changing, constantly changing, wonderful, terrifying planet we live on, in this fantastic and terrifying, also like terrifyingly tragic, wonderful, fucking crazy cosmos. I just wish we could come together and just focus on finding other planets. And there's got to be. I think we're closer to that than ever before, to be honest. Hopefully. Feels like it. That's what I was gonna say earlier. Actually, is that if ever there was a time in my life where things felt like they were falling into place, and not just for me, but for once you start focusing on things and you start changing your perspective, things do start falling into place because you can sort of manipulate things to do so. Not in a bad way, but you just can figure out how to do things to further your goals. You don't have to, but you can. And that comes with more knowledge, but also just like being honest with yourself and knowing who you are, and speaking your mind when you think it's necessary, and holding your tongue when not. For me, it's dangerous. I always hold my tongue when I should speak my mind, and I'm trying to fix that. And I think this channel has helped me do that, because I can just do this kind of stuff where I can just talk and draw, knowing that any day I could be going to work tomorrow and get hit by a train, and these videos will last as long as my channel is up, and these little videos will be all that's left of me, and there'll be scraps of paper with all these like, weird drawings on it, probably thousands of them. Thousands. And people will wonder what I was like, and then they'll watch these stupid videos, and they'll just be like, oh, he was a dumbass. That's what I would think too, is that you should never follow somebody that you admire on social media, or like a celebrity kind of person. It's like, I don't ever want to meet any of my heroes again. I've met a few, and just people that I would consider to be like pretty big, and it's just not worth it sometimes. I'm drawing a nose there. Do you see the nose? That way it starts a face. That face is coming out of nowhere. But it's going somewhere fast. Does anybody have a clue what I'm speaking of? There we go. And that one's going to have some bloody eyelashes. There we go. Ooh, 9:04? That was 10 minutes ago. What view? Oh, what view was that, Pastor? I'm sorry. I don't keep up with the chat very well. Hello, King of Spiders and Rats. My name is Stoic Grub. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the network. If you want, you can send gold to anybody that's watching, really, but mainly me. Please. Any kind of gold you've got, even if it's fake, because I can sell that on the black market. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's a job. Job's a job. A job's a job. There's a job. I take that to the bank. Don't fret. Let's get married, darling. On a winter's day during an earthquake. An earthquake with magma coming out of the ground, liquefying the gold that I have in my hands, making my hand coated in liquefied gold. And thus my hand becomes golden hand. That would be a cool Bond character, like Golden Hand. When are they gonna make Bond movies where he has like these jetpacks and stuff like that? You know, they're all like hyper realistic. Remember back in the old days, they had like rockets and stuff built into his underwear and whatnot. You know, that was a laugh hiccup almost sort of thing. I was impressed by that almost. Cool. The view of my drawing. The view of my drawing. That reminds me of a song. The view of my drawing. Everybody knows what they can see. They say 1, 2, 3, puddles in the corner. Well, that's what I had to pay. That's right. I had to pay. I had to pay. The producers locked me in here and I had to pay. They took away the key, so I can't go outside and live my life, let alone pay. That was a real humdinger of a day. When I was finally let out by the paramedics and the firemen, 16 weeks later, they were astonished that I was still alive. Well, friends, I managed to filter that pee. And that's how you can turn a frown upside down. You can live off filtered pee for apparently quite a while. I was green when they found me, and I had boils all over my skin. But that didn't stop me from singing this here song. All right now, I forgot what it was. Oh, silly. That was silly. I do apologize. Lo siento to my Mexican-speaking friends. Oh, that was kind of racist. I do apologize for that too. I forget where I'm from sometimes, and I mostly kind of don't quite know where I'm going, for that matter. It's a family matter. If anybody's out there, please send me some biscuits. I won't ask again. But yes, I'm just doodling on this little drawing. His little cheekbone, and then I'm gonna move it over just a little bit. There we go. And then I'm just gonna add these little bumps. You can just add any kind of bumps you want, and then just take it back under there. Add a little black over here. Same thing. It looks like an elephant's ear almost, but you can add other little lines like that. And then it looks a little bit different. Gives it a wavy feel. And then you've gotta just add a little something to this for some reason, because it just needs, it's kind of really all about balance and finding the right method that suits you in the moment. And you can always change it up. I like pens because it's just easier for me to, I've been drawing since I was a very young person, and I wish that I would have painted more as a kid. I wish somebody would have introduced me to painting. It wasn't until I was about 25 that I started painting, and that was again because of my friend Sam Dinkowitz. And of course, when I started painting, it became to where I was in the paper for it because my art was outside my house, and I decorated outside my house with my art and all these huge crazy paintings. People would come up onto our property tripping on substances. They would tell me about it later after knowing, like I'd meet them in a bar. They'd be like, "Whoa, that's crazy! You live at that house? We like ended up there at, like during one of our trips, like because it was in Ashland, Oregon. It was just this little college town right by the college. So like I had big pieces of art outside, like Stonehenge outside my art or house, and people would always tell me stories about how they would end up there, and they like would leave people would leave notes for me, like I would find notes in our windowsills, like thank you for the art and stuff. And it's just a really, that was a wild time, and it got to be a big deal having the art there. And these ladies up the street wanted me to take it down because they said it brought the value down of the neighborhood, but the house we lived in was an old piece of crap that had never been like kept up, and it was just there for college kids, so it was just like old and messed up and weird. And we just took it over. We were the last ones to live in that house before they demolished it, and I have a ton of video of it. Like we filmed so much there and recorded so much there. It's weird to think about that it's gone now, that house. It's kind of like the memories in a head that gets dementia or something like that. like the like the goodness just leaves. That's what I'm like. That's like the one thing that pretty much scares me, is that someday I want to. It just sucks when you lose people, because you share memories with people, and there's just things like, oh yeah, now I'm the only one that knows that, kind of thing. But then it'd be scary too if it was you that was losing the memories. And I could see definitely how people, because people tend to get, when they get dementia, it becomes scary, and I feel for them, because it would be the worst thing to feel forgotten, I think. Perhaps that's why I make so much art, because there's just no way I'll ever be forgotten. I mean, and I'm not saying that I'll ever be big. I'm not talking about big or anything like that by any means. I'm just saying there's enough of my stuff out there in the world that some piece of me is gonna last for a very long time after I'm gone. And people are gonna sometimes maybe like wonder, like, what the hell? Where's this? What is this thing? Where did you get this? I wonder that about art that I get, that I like, that I hang on to. But it's crazy just to think about the world and life and the future and the past and all that stuff, and what life will look like for us in a couple hundred years. It's hard to imagine, and it's scary to think about. I hope they figure it out, because we certainly didn't. We had a chance. When the people had the power, they give it to the politicians. Or whenever the people, whenever there is a battle going on, the people don't even know what power they have. And they rely on crooked ass politicians to change everything. And nothing ever changes. It just gets worse. And it's only gotten worse. And it's only getting worse. And for some of us on this planet, it got worse. And it was the worst. And their homes were demolished or bombed. And their families were killed or something. While people over here are mad because they can't, cut in front of the line at McDonald's and shit. It's just a weird ass world. Weird ass life. And it is, once you sort of embrace that and know and understand that those both exist, they coexist. Like people getting fat on one side of the planet and then people starving on the other, which isn't anything new, by the way. But like I said, I figured by this time in our evolution, growing up in the 80s, everything was about like watching Star Trek or the Next Generation or something. It was like this utopia where people got along because we realized that there was something bigger, and that we were destined for bigger and better things than what we were doing to each other here. And then I would even say, like, after the 90s, there was still hope throughout the 90s too, that was sort of coming, in my mind anyways. And all the time, I was naive to even think that, because of what's going on behind closed doors with fucking countries and politicians and corporations and all the evil that gushes out from that vile nonsense. Man. And now it's just off the charts insane where you can't even speak your mind without people just calling you this or that and blaming you for this or that, like you were the one that hurt them like all along, or like they know you just because you commented like 3 words on a video or something, and they, it's just where people, you know, they cheerlead for politicians. They cheerlead for them. These people who wouldn't give you the shirt off their back. And that's just the thing that will always make me sick. Is like you'll hate your neighbor, but you'll cheer these people who destroy you and your family. Good job. Because they don't want you to like your neighbor. They want you to be afraid of your neighbor and hate your fucking neighbor. All of them. Because then they win. And of course, when I say they, I'm talking about the reptiles. and the spaceman. Of course. You know what I'm getting at. There's a big picture, and that's what I try to remember that exists. That we're not all cogs in a machine, but that if we're not careful, we will be. And in many ways we are, regardless of whether we like it or not. Just because they've got us, right where they want us, because of what we rely on. And think about the things that you rely on. Clean water, or access to it, your phones, technology. What would happen if everything just went out, We would just lose our minds within 24 hours, I swear to God. Like, people wouldn't know what to do. Think about that shit for a while. That's scary. What would happen? I mean, look what I always say this, but look what happened when people couldn't get toilet paper. What would happen if there was no water, like no running water and no power, even for like a week? Like it would be chaos. It would be Armageddon. and people proved that by what happened with COVID. They proved that and especially if the stakes were higher. I'm not saying COVID wasn't high, but I'm saying like the toilet paper kind of scenario where people were just like getting all this random stuff and hoarding it and just being like really selfish and gross. Oh man. And I worked customer service during that shit. And I have to just say, like, people are awful. People are awful. It's so stupid to not want to wear a mask. It's like, fucker, I'm wearing a mask. I have to wear a mask 8 hours a day. The least you can do it is wear one for 2 minutes while you're in the store, Like, god damn. Like, it's the end of the world to wear a fucking mask. Just to show that much respect to somebody you don't know, or somebody that might be more vulnerable than you know what I mean? Oh, god damn, dude, that shit is so funny. How awful people, and then they turn around and claim to be all high and mighty on some like high horse, with whatever belief they believe in that afternoon, based on a book that they follow that they've never even fucking read. Amen. Ah, felt good to say that. I don't know why. God damn, a little empathy goes a long way. That's all I'm saying. That's all. What are you guys doing watching me? You're silly. You should go watch somebody that's actually doing something deserving of it. I'm probably gonna leave, and it's my Friday. It is my Friday, so I'm gonna go eat something and lay down. It was really cool hanging out with everybody. I really appreciate the company. And you take care of yourselves. Big time. Because, or at least remember that there's somebody out here that's cheerleading for you and not them. Okay? Always remember that shit. That I don't fight. I fight for you, or I don't know who you are, but there's such a thing as punching up, I never punch down. I don't even make fun of the way people look. People want to wear a fucking MAGA hat, whatever. I don't give a fuck. It just looks silly to me. People look like clowns. And same thing on the other side with these fucking weaklings who claim to be all hoity-toity as well, and who did nothing for the working class for the past 50 fucking years. Down with both of them. Only two dumbass choices. Horrible choices that that only benefit the donors and do nothing for the working class. Ever. And they both kiss the ass of the rich people and the corporations and fuck the poor. Yay! America! I don't know how this turned into an America bashing event, but that's what America's all about too. You're supposed to question authority, not join it. So, because the day you don't question authority, the day is the day that you're just a fucking bootlicker. Take it from me, I was raised by a cop. And a family of sheriffs and cowboys who thought they were good people. They just beat up kids. So I don't believe in shit. I believe in people. I believe in actual people. So I don't give a fuck where you're from. I believe in you. So just know that, okay? Okay. Bye, Pastor. Oh, it's your Monday? Oh, man, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, happy Monday. And everybody else, thanks for hanging out. But yeah, I hate going sometimes, but because I want to keep going, but I'm like I got the munchies or something. I don't know why, but I do. So yeah, have a good night, everybody. Love you. Bye.